They went drinking down at the waterworks?
Gentlemen,
Oh, sorry.
I'd like to welcome everybody to June 21st Special Town Board Meeting. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Michael Safone, Fourth Ward.
Joseph Lepore, Fifth Ward.
John Baisley, Deputy Supervisor.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
We only have
Development Director.
one item on the agenda tonight, and we're going to start by going to executive session. It's in reference to an agreement with City of O'Neill Dutton property. Make a motion to suspend the rules and go over this before.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby...
Hold on, let's see if we got something to say before we go into executive session.
Oh, we have something, we have...
Make a motion.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
You got anything to say on this, Mr. Armstrong?
Excuse me?
You have anything you'd like to say on this?
Well, I guess my only question would be to understand, is this mean that the,
You want to come up to the mic, Joe? Sorry.
I just read through it quick, and it seems to me that from what little bit I read it, we're not in agreement with the city on whatever proposal was put forward for this piece of land that adjoins the city property and ours.
I think if I might, Mr. Armstrong, they're going to do an attorney-client session because this is a special meeting and they're going to do it before this matter comes up rather than going in after, frequently go in after for attorney-client and executive session. So not to be presumptuous, but I think maybe the board would be in a position to discuss it after they have met with Mr. Wilson and me. Okay?
Make a motion to resume rules.
Motion to resume rules, so moved.
Second.
Mr. Carlos?
I guess my only thing is.
Do we vote? Yes, aye.
Once you have the session to make a decision, what's the sense of my questions? To understand what's being discussed.
Well, maybe you,
We'll
pardon.
explain them to
An
you.
opinion as to whatever is being discussed.
We'll come out after the executive session, and we'll give you a chance to ask a question once these guys build on how it goes.
So you're going to adjourn to executive session at
Don't I have to read
6:03?
You got to read it first.
You have to read it?
Resolution 621 of 2016, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjourn to executive session to consider the following matters to wit: confidential communications between the attorney and his client, the Town Board, based on the attorney-client privilege. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. We'll be back shortly.
Guys, keep it down, please.
We'll turn off the mics. It's 6:21.
Thanks. Back from executive session, 6:26. We have a motion to resume the rules.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to suspend the rules for public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Now you can back up, Mr. Armstrong. So backwards.
That used to be on Tuesday time.
No.
Okay, I guess trying to read through this a little more, trying to understand it a little bit better. Apparently, the city, or the owner, I guess, had to say what happens with this land. And they made an agreement with us, and it sounds like they rescinded the agreement instead of giving us part of it. They've given it all to the city. They haven't agreed, or we haven't agreed to the agreement, something like kind of closely, but
Yeah, that,
understanding, or
that's quite close. What the town board did was it put out a proposed contract, and the contract would be signed by both the city and the owner of the two shorefront strips, the one in the city, the one in the town. And there were conditions on it, you'll recall, good title, cleanup, security for future cleanup problems, and also to build it out. And if you have a copy of that resolution in front of you, if you look down towards the bottom of it, you'll see that the owner advised the town that the owner was going to transfer this title to the city, tender the deeds to the city rather than to the town.
for the whole section.
No, just the strip along the waterfront in the town, as well as probably the strip along the waterfront in the city. And so effectively, if the board adopts this, I think what they're doing is recognizing that the owner has said that I'm giving that shorefront property to the city, not to the town, and that the town is then saying, okay, well, we're going to pull back our offer to go to contract with you, owner, and also the city.
And the contract was who had to do what to the property to comply with whatever laws and stuff like that and so forth with the state. Now, am I correct in understanding that the state actually owned this strip that they're talking about and they gave it to this owner of the property? And then they made a decision with us that you would get part and city would get part, and now how can they just withdraw without a legal document that they signed before?
My understanding is that this was land which was owned by the state.
Right.
And I haven't done any kind of title search, nor is Neil.
The state conveyed the property to an LLC that was set up specifically for the purpose of receiving ownership of both pieces, this piece in the city and the piece in the town. And there's a little over 2 acres of shoreline. And I don't know the terms of that transaction. I don't know if it required that once the shoreline was cleaned up or something, if the deal with the state required the LLC to then convey it to the town or the city or both. I don't know the terms of that. There's parts of it that I
I don't know if it would be to our advantage to know what those terms are,
Well,
to see if,
yeah,
you know,
quite possibly, but at the city's request, the town attempted to enter into an agreement to settle out the terms under which the town would receive the portion in the town, and the city could then cut its own deal in terms of how it would receive its waterfront. But the necessary third party, which is the owner of the LLC that has title to that property, rejected the offer expressly and tendered the deeds to both parts of the shoreline to the city. And the Corporation Council received, I think, sometime last week.
how can they give, if that was part of what we're talking about, 6.63 acre was in our town,
Right.
how did they get the right to just say, well, we're going to take it and give it to the city?
Well, the scope of the legal authority of what cities can own is something that I'm not prepared to address now. But to my knowledge, there is no existing contract under which the town was given the right to receive title to those lands. In fact, this resolution that's being rescinded had attached to it a contract under which you'd clean it up, you'd improve it, and the owner would then offer it to the town. I mean, one of your earlier points was, how can they do that if there's a contract with the town? But there is no contract that's been signed with the town.
Right. The contract was repudiated, right?
It was never signed, and
Never
agreement, never
signed.
signed or anything. Well, I guess what I don't understand is if the piece of property is in a town, where do they get the authority to even the state saying you can have that, and then the owner go and give part to the town and the rest of it to the city? Something's not jogging with me here as to who had the authority to make this kind of move. Who gave them the authority? What did it say way back when the town lines and city lines were produced that should have showed who owned what technically?
Well,
And how do
yeah,
they get the authority to say, well, you can have it, we're gonna.
You're asking questions that I don't think any of us
Yeah,
have
well,
answers to. So-
seems to me that, wouldn't that be something that we should try to find out what the heck's going on?
But if
Now,
the-
maybe we
if
don't
the
want the
state-
property, maybe we don't want the property because we gotta put money in it to fix a little piece of property up, and the city and the development is the only ones that get the use of it, because the town's never gonna do anything with it except clean up the mess that was left by Dutton Lumber and whatever. I don't know, maybe the deal would be better to let it go. I don't know, it's something that has to be looked into. But I just don't understand how somebody can just say, well, you can't have your property, we're gonna give it to somebody else.
Well, this is basically to just clean up the offer and take the offer off the table. So as far as,
Well, yeah.
I think that's part two, is to decide the other factor.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the property was owned by the state, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So it was in the town. So the town did not own it, the state owned it.
Right.
And
Right.
when he got the clean title, they could do anything they want. Is that,
No, I don't believe that's quite correct. And
Okay.
again, I haven't seen the deed. I don't know all the particulars of the transaction. My base understanding is that the deed from the state to the LLC contemplated that the property would be available for public access. Now, I don't for a second believe that O'Neill wishes to keep ownership of a piece of shoreline. that's
because they have to maintain it and they.
Yeah, it's public, it's, but the idea here is that the property that is received from the state typically, and we see this a lot in like with the highway transactions coming from DOT, is that the public always have access to it. Again, I don't know if the deal with the state said,
Language.
shall then convey it
Yep,
to a
gotcha.
municipality. But my understanding is that it said that it shall always be available for the public access. Now,
Yeah.
it would make sense as a private owner to try to turn it over to a municipality. Why would you
Correct.
want to take it?
And
up?
that's what I'm trying to get, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, thank you, Neil.
All right, I guess we gotta see what develops from here on then.
Yep.
So how deep we're gonna dig to see what the real process is that we should be going through, and whether it's worth it for us to fight it or not, or argue about it or not, I guess. All right, thank you.
Doreen?
So by rescinding the contract from May 4th, does this provide any particular benefit to the owner, collectively, the owners?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And does it have any impact on any prior decisions the town made on this project?
I don't think we've made any decisions at all on this, no.
Oh, well,
The
okay,
public hearing was adjourned.
like the planning board or anything?
No.
Okay,
No.
No.
okay.
This is just to clean
So
up
this
this
is
one piece.
specific
Yeah.
to the May 4th agreement?
Yep.
Right.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Is this piece of property we're talking about accessible to go see? Can we visit this piece of property? Just get
Yeah, you could see it. I mean,
Yeah.
See from the road.
Unless we have a boat, is that what?
still remedial work going on.
Okay.
If you could go down Dutchess Avenue as a cul-de-sac,
Yep.
you could drive to the
Yep.
end and kind of look at it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, what you will see is the Dutton property itself. There has been a lot of fill brought in to raise it above the flood stage so they can do, construction of units above it. So you're gonna see a very large raised area. And then the shoreline area itself is, you can kind of see where it is. But you could certainly go look at it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And they got, right now, they're doing work on the property, right? They got all the permits and it's,
I don't know if work is that, they
'Cause it's-
have their permissions from the state for the remedial work, the ongoing remedial work, which includes the shoreline, is my understanding. Is there work going on now? I don't know that.
okay, thank you.
Motions on the rules.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Sifon, would you like to read the resolution?
Whereas by Resolution 5.4, number 5 of 2016, Town of Poughkeepsie Town Board authorizes supervisor to execute an agreement with the City of Poughkeepsie and City and the O'Neill Group, Dutton LLC, Dutchess Avenue Riverwalk LLC, and Dutchess Avenue Riverwalk North LLC, collectively the owners, regarding the improvement of a 0.63 acre parcel of land located in the town of Poughkeepsie as a walkway, and whereas the proposed agreement represented a contractual offer to the owners and the city, and the offer was subject to conditions, including those relating to the improvement, cleanup, future remediation, cost security, and the tender of an offer of good title to the town of Poughkeepsie by either Dutchess Avenue Riverwalk North LLC, one of the owners, or the state of New York. And whereas the aforesaid resolution was adopted by the town of Poughkeepsie based on particular circumstances, among others, that the proposed agreement and the contractual offer which it represented would be executed by the owners, and that the offer of title upon fulfillment of the conditions precedent would be made by the owners or the state of New York to the town of Poughkeepsie, which offer of title could be accepted at the option of the town of Poughkeepsie, and whereas the agreement has not been accepted or executed by the proposed parties thereto, and the owners have expressly declined to accept the contractual offer, and whereas more particularly, following the adoption of said Resolution 5.4, number 5 of the 2016 town was advised by a representative of the owners that the title to the town portion would be offered to the city of Poughkeepsie rather than to the town of Poughkeepsie, and that the need for the agreement was eliminated, which effectively rejected the offer of the town. Now therefore, in light of the position taken by the owners, the material change of circumstances occasioned thereby and the failure of the assumptions justifiably relied upon by the town of Poughkeepsie underlying the supporting the adoption of the resolution and the offer of the agreement, together with the fact that the parties to the agreement have not accepted and executed it, it is resolved that Resolution 5.4, number 5 of 2016, be and the same is hereby rescinded, and the contractual offer of the town to the owners and the city is withdrawn, given the facts and material change of circumstances referred to above, and is further resolved the adoption of this resolution, rescinding Resolution 5.4, number 5 of 2016, and the contractual offer of the town to the owners and the city is a Type 2 action requiring no secret review pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617 5C 37. So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? We have a roll call. This one.
Bill Carlos,
Aye.
Mike Zafone,
Aye.
Joe Lepore,
Aye.
and Jay Baisley.
Aye, motion passes 4-0. That's all we have for the agenda for tonight. A motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Have a good evening, all.
Thank you.